Welcome to my walking thoughts. Hello, I'm Ursula and I did a hiking initiation walking from Flensburg to Denmark, Odense. And I was hiking all the way and hitchhiking some parts of it, sleeping in shelters and in people's houses where I rang the doorbells on this adventure. There were many reasons for me to do that. To get out of my bubble, to see what is actually going on in the world. What are the parts of the world that I don't see? To get out of my bubble and to meet people, to get into conversations that I wouldn't have otherwise. To get to know myself better, to learn to make decisions just for myself and to know what my needs are and how I can directly say what I need, what I want. And to get really alive at the edge of my comfort zone, to do experiments, to explore where my fear is, how I can move with my fear and with my feelings through the world. I wanted to travel slowly and sustainably, so I took the train from my home in the middle of Germany to Flensburg with the Germany ticket, and then I hiked and I only paid the ferry, so the costs of this kind of traveling are really low. I brought some food with me and I didn't need to buy any extra. I met so many generous people offering me food and accommodation and showers. It might not be the best quality, but you will be able to see and hear what I've experienced on this journey, in this Alive journal. And I used a Fairphone for filming it, and it did its best. For navigation I used Komoot, which helped me to find also smaller hiking paths and sometimes got me a bit stuck in the mud. But it was great to find my way here. Enjoy. I got out of the train and it was raining cats and dogs. I already got to try out my rain gear and then went to my godmother's daughter's shared flat. She's called Freya and kindly offered me to sleep the first night with her before starting the real big adventure.
Wir kommen gerade vom Eisbaden. Da hinten sieht man noch die Brücke, wo wir reingesprungen sind. 0,6 Grad war das Wasser heute. Und jetzt geht's gleich los auf die große Wanderung.
Da lang! Now I step into Denmark. By Germany. Hello Denmark! And the real entrance to another world. Turns out to be a playground. Today I had a conversation with some hikers that went the same way as I did for quite a while, and they were doing 24 kilometers this Sunday and told me about how this one guy used to make charcoal bricks in part of Russia and traveled a lot in many different countries. And otherwise, I feel sad because many people just look away or don't look at me walking by and don't say hi. And so I want to do that more. I want to be the one starting to say hi, even if it's just that. Everything is really organized and clean. There are all these shelters I could sleep in, all these public toilets, all these houses that are really shiny and bright. Like this one. What is there to thrive for if everything seems so perfect? How can I start conversations that are extraordinary, that are not just what everybody would talk about, that feels safe? How can I ask more dangerous questions? Today it's just along the water and just along the water. As it's so much along the water, I noticed myself thinking about, oh, I'm looking forward when I'm able to go off into the land. And now I really want to enjoy this time while I'm right here, right now, not moving forward anywhere in my thoughts, in my mind, but being here where I walk. If I'm not stopping to think ahead, I'm gonna take away my map and just lie down and look into the clouds. Just look into the clouds. The fisher said it's too early in the season to catch fish. And he tried anyways. Muddy paths. Many private locked doors. Piece of the water next to me. Do you ever see such a colorful beach? You could literally build really colorful houses out of these beaches. Aye. Wow, with these luxury houses I really wonder if people have to do a lot of upkeeping. What is their purpose in life? Is it only about money and work? Or do they have more spare time now? Everything organized so they can take care of something bigger than them? I just had a conversation with a woman collecting stones, and she told me about her long hikes through Sweden, and that I can find nice shelters in 3 or 4 kilometers. Let's see if I can still make that, because my feet are already getting a bit tired on this first day. Let's see. Geese are flying already. The clean beauty. What a mud. I nearly got stuck so far. Oh dear. I'm sinking in with every step. But I think I did it. Whew. Talked to a family and a really nice lady with a beautiful dog. They knew more shelters my way, and yeah, they kind of did a bit further away. Let's see if I find them or if I find other people before. But I could have asked this woman for if I could sleep in her house because she lived nearby, and I didn't, and so I learned from that to ask, to be more bold. Okay, last few steps. I did more than 20 kilometers today, and I got a shelter recommended. And here I am. Hello, new home. The full moon is visible from my sleeping spot. This morning I woke up quite tired, even though I slept 12 hours from 7 to 7. And now I'm on the road again. It was super warm in the shelter. I didn't even need all my layers on, and I actually slept quite well there. The first bridge that can open. Yay, I just got hot water from Peter. I was lucky because he was on a Saturday-Sunday shift, so he was sitting outside this morning smoking, but really kindly filling up my bottle. I feel a lot of fear today because the spaceholder training is going to start, and I need to find a space with good internet for the whole time of the online meeting, and that's already in my mind now this morning a lot, and I want to get present again, being here with this water. And in there I noticed this wanting to get away from this uncomfortable feeling, the fear, and not being okay with what is. Literally wanting to fix myself. Hugging these huge tree beings helps. Never seen these kinds of beings. Which houses have been washed away by the sea here? Now I will leave this water for a moment, going further into the land. I keep seeing this private everywhere, and I'm wondering how much I'm just seeing what I expect to see, and how I'm not seeing all the signs for welcoming people, for being generous. How I'm just scaring myself with these private signs and using it as an excuse not to knock on doors. And by the way, I already managed to change the hello thing, greeting people when I see them, being the one who says first hi or moin. And often I get back something like good tour in Danish. to greet the wildlife below the surface. The grass glittering in the sun, the smell of the earth, of the sea. So, still doing 3 minutes of fear and sadness, and trying to feel out loud when I feel something. And I notice how I'm scared that people see me, hear me feeling, how I pretend to be fine and smiling when I meet people, how I start feeling when I have nothingness around me, like here. Well. What does it mean that there are all these Denmark flags? Is it nationalism? Is it loving their land or for the next football match? Well, I'm walking through this village for quite a while now and seeing hardly anyone. I wonder if everybody is working, why no one is sitting in their garden. Not even retired people around. And this is beautiful. I was thinking of hitchhiking because it was a bit boring walking along the road straight all the time, but hardly any cars passed in my direction, and then also they were usually not going straight. Classic overnight oats with homegrown apples. Whoa, I met a glacier. It's real snow. Yeah, yeah. While I'm walking, I'm trying to connect to the land, to the spirits of the land, and singing the songs of the land. Feeling what it's telling me. Nearly at the sea again. I cut a half island, and quicker than I thought I would see it again. What if you would put a world flag on your house? Not the one of your so-called country. I met some people in a cafe, and they were a group of women that were just ice bathing, and I asked them for internet. And so one of them just took me 5 kilometers the wrong direction, but to her home, and gave me some internet connection because my mobile data is not working, and so I could catch up with some messages from the Spaceholder group. And now I decided to move on so that I can find a space and a laptop, hopefully, for tonight for 6 p.m. Ulla was really sweet. She gave me lots of bread and cheese and tomatoes and little energy bars with oats and chocolate and tea and a charger and electricity and everything. And she had a beautiful cat, and her husband was also really nice, working in the garden. Yes, now I'm walking again. Had my first Danish conversation with this car that's going away there, because I tried to hitchhike this long country road here, and there are hardly any cars going, but he stopped and seems like he's going in a different direction. So much fun right now not to know where I'm going, and I could go anywhere, I could hitchhike anywhere. I just need this 6 p.m. spaceholder training appointment. And I don't know where this will be. I could go to a library and I could knock on people's doors. Whew, it's scary. Yes. Very curious where I will end up today. Sehr schön. Wow, I got an amazing ride to Flensburg and just to the library, so I can ask here for a laptop or computer to do the online space at 6, and now I have a lot of time to do whatever I want. Wow, this was so crazy. This person who gave me a ride to this town dropped me at the library, and I asked around there, but they didn't have any computers with cameras. So two guys there had this idea of me going to the university and asking around here, and I did that. And at the information, nobody was there anymore. And in the library here in the university was no one. So I met Theodore somewhere in the building, and he tried to help me to find the space where the laptops for exams are stored. And there was no one there anymore, but he had a friend who has an access to this room, and this friend was in a lecture but had a break 5:15. So it was somehow really complicated. There's the logo of the university. But he managed to organize this laptop for me. In between showed me the university a bit, and the condensed CO2 or something that is being put in astronauts' suits for insulation. And yeah, crazy things. What touched me a lot was that Theodore told many other people when we were standing in the entrance area of the university that I'm doing something so amazing, and encouraged me to tell my story at least 3 or 4 times and to inspire others. And there was one guy I talked to, and he was longing to do something different, to travel, but he felt so trapped in the system of studying and having to work that he couldn't imagine doing that right now, but rather later when he could escape this prison. And it made me feel sad, and also see this necessity for showing people that different ways of living are possible. And that actually what I'm doing right now, especially when I am in circumstances where I need to ask, that I'm showing people so different lifestyle many couldn't imagine. Also the woman in the library was really shocked and impressed that I'm hiking alone and sleeping in shelters. Yeah. It was so funny when Theodore called the friend to get the laptop. He really gave everything, and he said like, this laptop is gonna save the world, and if I'm not gonna get it, then Denmark is gonna explode, really. And finally we got this laptop to work as well, to charge to install Zoom, and right on time I was in the space water training. What a journey. And now it's 8:30. I'm still in town and trying to find my way out of here to find some shelters for the night. Yes. And right now I'm walking in the opposite direction of where my driver from before told me there are shelters. So I really hope I will find some. Otherwise, sleep under the full moon somewhere in the forest. I hope I'll leave this town soon. Theodore asked me a question, which was my worst experience on the hike. And I couldn't answer first, and then he had to go to get the laptop. But he gave me time to think about it. And my conclusion was actually not these moments, for example in the library when I couldn't get what I wanted, where I maybe felt a bit sad or scared. But worse than that was all my inner not presence, my worries about the future, about what I shared this morning, thinking about the space holder training already and stressing myself, feeling this pressure, which was not constructive, which had elements that helped me to get organized, but which was mainly just this tunnel thinking kind of fear. Yes. Good morning. It's 6:30 and I found this really nice bench tonight that hosted me for trying out how it is to sleep on a bench. What so many people do in the world. It's not so bad actually. And there are some houses around, but I went to bed at 10:30 and got up at 6 together with one jogger, but I don't know if he saw me. It was still dark. And I slept with this heartbeat of the sea tonight and the full moon above me and stars. In a way, I'm also traveling like you. Every step is so fresh. Is stepping into something new. I have never done this step before. I'm just moving in the now. I'm moving in time. Eastern sun, melt the cold from my bones, curtain rise, take the darkness from my eyes, breathing in, pulling life into my lungs as a child. I am born again. What is it you want to do with this one wild, precious life? I just had a little dip in this water here, a little wash. and dried my sleeping bag and tarp, brushed my teeth, and now I'm ready to go off again. Just started again, seeing this huge military airplane reminding me of the wars in the world. Oh, feeling very sad and scared. Diversity of swings. I just met Philip in the last village, and he went with me through the forest, showed me some shelters, and we had a really nice conversation. He told me that his daughter studied osteopathy and isn't happy about it because she's working in New Zealand, and there she is able to earn quite some money with it, and it's well organized there, the system, but on the other hand, somehow she gets paid for how often patients return, and that's not what she wants, because she says she wants to make people healthy so they don't have to return anymore. And yeah, he moved here because it's so quiet, so close to nature, and he is from Britain and thinks that it's not good for mental health to live in city or in all these overpopulated countries. So that's why he is here. And it's very quiet here, a lot of beautiful nature, and still walking next to the sea. And there are some dolphins here sometimes. I just rang my first doorbell in Denmark, and they were really kind people, an older couple, and they both had a cold, so they didn't invite me in, but they refilled my hot water bottle, my thermos bottle with hot water, and even offered me a coffee latte to go, which I didn't take, but I got the chocolate anyways. And yeah, I had a little conversation with Lars while the water was boiling, and he told me that this is an area with many pigs, and there are 25,000 small pigs being killed every day in Denmark. And this mass production of pigs is also polluting the water, so there are hardly any fishes left in the sea. And he is hopeful that the government will change and do something about it. And yeah, it's also really sad that it's like that right now, especially in this area. Breakfast break on a beautiful meadow, lots of flowers. Looks like there are lots of Christmas trees for all the Danish families growing over there. A lot of long country roads now to enjoy the small things around. The flowers, the birds, the trees. To reflect, to hope for hitchhiking opportunities. And I'm realizing more and more what I'm actually doing when I'm talking to all these people. I've quit my job, and now I'm doing all these projects to create a regenerative way of living on Earth. And my generation, I'm hiking instead of flying I'm talking to people, sharing, inspiring them, showing them that something different is possible, something different than business as usual. And I'm living in this world, meeting all the signs of modern culture, of distraction, all these monocultures, huge fields, war, toxification, rubbish. People who are thinking that there is no other way of living. People who seem very much in their own world. And also people with big smiles and a lot of passion and love for life. What if all these fields were beautiful permaculture gardens flourishing in different colors? Then I wouldn't look for a hitchhiking opportunity here anymore. And it would be such a pleasure to walk here. Everybody would want to walk because it's so beautiful. I wouldn't even need to carry any food because there were all these edible plants around. No worries about poison, no desert. At least one biker just stopped and asked if I had a goal walking here. Doesn't seem like a much used road. I'm going home, I need this land. All full of pigs in the dark. This little red car there took me to the hafen to go by ferry on the other side. Yay! I made it to the other side! Woo! May you rest in peace. Wow, what a bird paradise. Sharing some apple and giving some Reiki to this little wasp who was just sitting there breathing really fast. And now she's moving again. Off she goes. More Christmas trees. Inge and Uwe brought me just here by car. They connected it to going shopping, and I rang their doorbell to ask for hot water again, and they helped me to find out where a shelter is, which was 8 kilometers away from their home, and they look really funny. So yeah, they drove me here. They also gave me some biscuits before, and now I'm here, ready to set up my sleeping space. This is so cool. There are so many of these tiny shelters with little round windows and fireplaces. It's a whole city of shelters, and they are super funny with these ladders here, little toilets inside, little separate rooms with doors that you can slide open. I think I'm gonna sleep in this one. Of course, nobody is here to this time of year. Look. This is so fun. You can even sleep up here. Wow, this is cool. Actually, this one is even better. Wow, look at that. Super cute. I think I'm gonna sleep in here now. And look where this little path leads me. Isn't that incredible? Hello, I'm lying in bed now in this comfy little hut, and I tried to make a fire outside and I terribly failed. Just got a few leaves to smoke and to burn, but it switched off so quickly. I need to learn this skill. Good morning. Tonight was really cold even though I was in the shelter. Thanks to the shelter, everything is dry, but I had to warm up my nose every time I woke up and move a bit, rub my legs, and at the end I opened my sleeping bag so I could put my feet into the other leg's popliteia and warm it up, or sleep in little bear's position or child pose to be a bit warmer. And so it worked. I could sleep, and I dreamt of my sister's little very clever and unapologetic pony Cheeto, who just took the bread he wanted from a bakery and didn't stop asking for it. So I will take an example from him, and because yesterday I ate all the sourdough bread that I had brought from home, and I will ask for what I want and ask if people can also give me some bread. The grass and roofs were frozen tonight, and now it's really foggy. I notice I'm longing for somebody proactively inviting me, and how I'm having this expectation and how I'm less present by holding on to that. And also I'm questioning myself, like, would I invite somebody just walking by? And what is usually holding me back from that? And actually I noticed that I often would also hesitate a lot, think that people are already fine and cared for if they look like that. And that's what I'm also observing, that I'm smiling when I meet people. I look fine. I look like I don't need anything. Don't need to be cared for. And when when I would be asked by a hiker, then I would also hesitate in the first moment, but I would also be really happy, especially if I'm in a relaxed state of mind, not having a lot to do right now. And I have to show you this beautiful landscape here. Small river, very calm. And yesterday I was also sad about not meeting people outside, but maybe it's just a calm area, and I can embrace that as it is. And there is a dog. Maybe I can meet someone now. Yes, indeed. I met Susan and her two really beautiful dogs, really playful, cuddly. And before I had this thought of I could empty my water bottle and then say I need water in order to get what I actually want, maybe some breakfast offered or I don't know what. And then I thought, what is it actually that I really want? And I noticed I would be really interested in other eco-villages or communities on the way that I could visit, or interesting projects, because now I feel I have quite a bit of time to get to Odense. And so I asked her if she knows anything, and unfortunately not on my way, or more in a different part of Denmark. But she told me about a castle which could be along this road, and I dared to walk past a private sign to ask for charging my phone. But there was a car coming in my direction already before I went any further, and the guy said that the people in the house are usually still sleeping now, so I could go to a town, which is not the direction I want to go. Anyways, I'm trying my luck in the next place. The other thing, next to manipulating people to give me what I want by asking for something smaller, not having to say what I really want, the next thing I noticed from my underworld is hiding, because I think people might think something and judge me about something. For example, hiding the white cable when I charge my phone on the power bank, because I think technology is bad and I shouldn't use technology so much. Also, I'm judging myself for how much energy I might have used, and this inner conflict about not wanting to use the map for navigation, but actually it's so practical. So I feel angry about that, about this hiding, and I want just to not change anything when I encounter people. Not hide that I'm singing, not hide that I'm feeling, not hide that I'm wearing what I'm wearing, or whatever it is. Just being myself. That's an interesting construction. No fence, but a tree. Rang the doorbell, used the door knocker. No one is there. Everything is very silent. Found a really beautiful breakfast place. 2 picnic benches in the middle of nothing. This hike and being confronted with myself all the time is showing me all my patterns so clearly. things, making myself small and not wanting to interrupt anybody, not wanting to go into private spaces or being scared if there is an alarm system. And also now when I'm observing myself speaking about this experience, I'm scared to show off, to make myself bigger, so that other people might be jealous. And I don't use all the words I would use when I talk to myself. Like, I have never told anyone that I'm seeing this as an initiation for myself. And this could also be so valuable to share with the world. Visiting this isolated farm over there gave me this insight that I don't want to live like that anymore. When I was younger, I always wanted to live far away, on the land, my own farm, but no one else around. Now I really want to live with a village where we inspire each other. What are your perfect growth conditions? I got to charge my phone a little bit and got to look at a map from a nice person called Annie and her husband. And they tried to speak a few words, German and English, and I tried to understand some more words, Danish. And I got hot water. While waiting for my phone to charge, they also showed me the view out of their panorama window, where usually when there are no clouds, you could even see until Germany, if I understood them right. And that there is the third highest mountain close by, a bit more than 100 meters above sea level, where you could see Odense from there. I just asked an older man in his house if I could use internet, if he speaks English or German, and he didn't. So it was another conversation in Danish for me, and very short but fun. I feel sad and tired, longing for more connection to people, longer conversations that are more meaningful to me. And I just found out that it's only about 40 kilometers left, and so I could slow down. And then there's this thought coming up of what's the point. And yeah, I could go detours, seeing things. Also, I don't really want to sleep in a shelter next night, because last night was quite cold, and so I can only hope to meet nice people to host me. And the last ones were not making the impression of wanting to invite me, but then I cannot judge by the last people I met to the next people I meet. I want to know what people are doing, where people are. They all seem to be at work if they are not retired already. And everything is so quiet and empty. Where is aliveness? I feel angry because there is so much pretending. even I don't need to hike. I don't really need internet. I don't really need hot water. And what is really real? What is even real? Is it real what other people are doing? How can I find realness inside of me and meet people on a level that's beyond box conversations and surviving, and somewhere where it really interests me? It seems all so superficial, and I really get bored of that. I want something that inspires me, that touches me, and I want to ask the questions that create that, and meet people who are willing to get into a conversation that goes deeper than just about the weather. Is real is that I'm sitting here feeling angry and sad and frustrated and drinking lukewarm water. Sun is coming out more. And that's again talking about the weather, by the way. My gremlin really wants to eat chocolate. Well, bad for you, gremlin. Not feeding time now. Need to go up the mountain first. Wow, a real glacier crossing the way. Wow, so big. Trebjerg, 150 meters. The third highest point. I'm coming from somewhere there, and I'm going somewhere there. I noticed this child ego state coming up. Being angry at everything, not wanting to do anything, being frustrated, and not wanting anything, just being annoyed. And I think I just need to rest a bit. Who would I be without labeling this as blue? I just noticed that the people I met so far, they were in a way exact mirrors for my state of being in this moment. And this place, everything I perceive is a mirror of the state of being. I can choose what I want to perceive. I can choose how I want to be. There's nowhere to go. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to reach. There's nothing to save. And the wind just is. And sound just is. And I just am. And my mind is just asking, what's next? What's next? What's next? That's okay. And most important, change is something completely different from this is possible. So let's go on. Super interesting buildings and structures here. All over the place. A whole playground. Yay, I just met Lerke and she is a knitting designer. So she was at home, working from home knitting, and she had half an hour until she had to pick up her kids from school, a free school, and there was just a little mess because the cats had killed a mouse, a bigger mouse. Not really a mouse, not a rat, something different. And yes, she allowed me to charge my phone. We had a nice conversation. She showed me a map of shelters. She gave me half of self-baked bread roll from yesterday and an apple and water. And yeah, now I at least have a little more food buffer because I might be in a bit more rural area from now on. Probably not meeting so many people. Landscape changes.
Bei nächster Möglichkeit links.
I found a straw bale house. Unfortunately, no one is there to open the door. So I found a house for tonight where just an old lady came out when I went past, and I asked her if she knew a place where I could sleep, and she said in her house, and she is just moving out. So I helped her a little bit with taking some things to the car, and so she went now, and I have the whole house for myself. And she made me some tea and gave me lots of biscuits and couscous, and yeah, there is some food left over which is already expired, but I will check if I can use any of that. Baked beans in a tin, for example. And yeah, I can put my mattress here, so I will have it warm tonight. And there's also a cat living here. He is probably outside now. This is where I am. At a little road. And yeah, I had also a little conversation with her. This is, by the way, another really old house with even more an ancient stove inside and stuff. But yeah, she also had Norwegian and Icelandic horses, and she guessed that I'm vegetarian. I don't know how. And her partner from Ghana was also here and helped her. So that's it. Now I have food and shelter. I found this beautiful Feldsalat salad in the garden. This is the garden. And this is the back side of the house. This is the cat. The woman was called Åsa, by the way, after a goddess. Also found this one to eat. Wow, look at that. What a paradise. After all the cookies that I got. Really nice. I'm sitting here in this house. Behind me is a picture that Åsa's husband, who died already, painted in Portugal. She was in Portugal a lot. And it's a bit boring, but okay. I cooked some rice and sorted out some of her foods. Took some that I want to take with me tomorrow. I went twice again to the straw bale house and no one was there, just a cat. She was really nice. And that's it. I think I'm gonna go to bed soon. It's only 7, but never mind, it's dark. I'm getting more connected to the natural rhythms. Just sewing my gloves while I have so much time in the evening. Ta-da, done! And still able to touch my phone. Okay, go. Good. We've become a very good team already. I'm amazed by the realization right now that 1.5 years I wouldn't have dared to do all of that on my own. I wouldn't have dared to hike for several days on my own and to hitchhike, and even in a group it was really scary. And also, like 1 year ago, I wouldn't really have dared. And now it's still scary, of course, but it's at the same time really relaxed, and I have the sense I just trust myself to do that. And I also trust Echo, or the universe, to send me where I need to go, as it sent me to Regenera. When I had decided that I will not continue with the Vision Weeks, the project I did before, then it sent me this clear signal, this clear hint to go here. And it was so clear for me to hike. Wow, I still feel tired. It's nearly 7 and my alarm went off at 6, but Softy, the cat, woke me up at 4 because he wanted to go out again. I learned that to go out he scratches his scratching tree or the couch, and then I opened the door for him, and then a few moments later he jumps back on the window to let him back in. So our communication goes quite well, and also he understands that he is not allowed to go here on my sleeping mat because I'm afraid of holes. Yeah, that goes well. And then I woke up just now because I dreamt of our little doggy who died last summer, barking until I woke up. Thank you for your being, little Yola. And now get up. This is my second alarm. And this night my nose didn't get frozen, but full, because somehow it's a bit dusty, and also I smell the smoke in this flat a bit, because Osa used to smoke in here, well, next to the window, but yeah, it's not very dominant, but I smelled it more lying on the floor. And yeah, she also said something about smoking cannabis yesterday. I don't know what it is that she smoked now, but yeah, she said she had been ill all her life, and maybe it's also that she needs that as medicine or distraction. I don't know. Okay. I feel sad that Softy needs to move to the neighbor, probably. Come on in, come. And this house will also be bought by the neighbor and probably be taken down. It's quite old. And maybe something new gets built here. So, Softy, you will need to move in an hour. Yes. I feel really glad I had a house tonight to sleep in, because everything is still frozen. Really beautiful. And at the end it was really hard to convince Softy to go out. Twice he jumped over a wooden platform which leads into the basement, and I couldn't follow him there, so I needed to go around through the kitchen, through the door in the basement, and at the end I carried him out. I hope he will also be happy living with the neighbor afterwards. I usually like to walk at the sides of the street so that my feet don't get so tired walking on this hard stuff people put everywhere. During our Wander-Uni time, we started the days with a silent hike, not speaking. And I noticed I can also do that on my own because my mind is speaking so much, thinking about what I really need to film because it's so beautiful, or where I can organize my next sleeping space. But there is nothing to think about right now. So I will just walk in silence, being present, feeling the land. So that doesn't look like I'm gonna get through here. I'll go back. New trial. The ground here feels dangerously soft as well. And I got through this bit. Now it looks better. Wow. There's an owl. Yes, I got around this water. Now I'm here. With the next paddle on the way, I will move to the field. Meeting some deer over there. This is supposed to be the way? Not sure. Sorry field, this is plan B. And in my mind I'm already talking to the farmer, finding excuses why I did that, defending myself. Back to meditation. Quite heavy walking here with my new mud soles. Maybe my way really was underwater. Seems to be quite high. human. Farm air. There is a little lake and a cave. Du gamla moder, du gamla moder jord. Ouch, this looks so painful what people are doing. Lots of long country roads today. The first sign of Odense. That seems short, 21 kilometers. This journey north shows me my shadows quite a lot, always in front of me. I feel really sad about all the rubbish here, and I have stopped picking it up because it's so much, and I just feel sad that it's there. Feeling the pain of it, the pain of not changing it. Piece of life. There are really sweet small houses here. I could also fly. Everywhere I get to see this way of cutting the trees along the road. Very efficient, very neat, and very big wounds. There were not many places on this way that qualified as picnic spots for me. This one did. And I cooked some rice yesterday. Got these baked beans out of a tin that were expired. That's my brunch now. Done! And a little dessert with peanut butter from Osa. The sign says something about calf production in there. I feel sad these cows cannot be outside in the sunshine. But at least 5 can over there. I have enough of country roads. Deciding to go off tour in the forest now. Don't know where this path leads. But it's also shadow ahead going to the north. Okay, taking the other way. Meadows can be so wet here, like a swamp. Found some fresh salad. Orchard here, and I saw the first 2 butterflies. And on the other side, 2 horses. Hello there. Hey, some sheepies. I'm having a little rest here. It didn't really stop to be country road after country road, village after village. And yeah, lots of walking on hard ground, straight on. And now I had a break with a carrot and some more rice. I opened the chickpeas and put them in the lunchbox, and also the tomato paste, but that didn't seem good anymore, so I'm gonna look for a bin to put them both away. Then I don't need to carry quite as much anymore. I found a little bookshelf. I just visited this ecological cow farm and asked them if they knew any place where I could sleep close by, and they told me about shelters, but the other way, going back to the town and then a bit down into nature. So I don't want to do that. And they also told me that it's gonna be -degrees again tonight. So I'm continuing, again hoping for the next houses, being with friendly people and seeing again that they wouldn't necessarily offer me to sleep in their houses. People here are less proactive than I assumed, and really have to ask more directly for what I want. Every time I'm seeing this rubbish, feeling the sadness, the fear, the anger about it, and at the same time I remember that it's only a symptom of this bigger numbness and disconnection from nature, this timelessness, being money and goal orientated, not caring, this deep disconnectedness. And not being here, not being present, not being aware of what they are doing. And I remember from the film Peaceful Warrior that this old man told the younger one to bring the rubbish out, and he thought he meant it literally and said, yeah, do it yourself, but he meant the rubbish in thoughts. So I will take each piece of rubbish that I see from now on as a reminder to bring the rubbish out in myself. And I've been thinking about that a lot during the hike today. And so there was a lot of rubbish blinding me from seeing where I actually am, being where I am, rerouting, reconnecting. There doesn't seem to be anyone on this farm, only pigs. I knocked on so many doors today, went so many paths extra to check if I could see someone in the houses, ring doorbells, and it seemed at many houses like there was no one there. So I continued, and I was nearly up to sleep in the shelter, which was not far away, but also an extra walk away from other houses. And then the last house, there was an older lady looking out, and as if it was the most normal thing in the world, just opening her doors for me, showing me two beautiful guest rooms, a bathroom belonging to them, giving me time to rest, making a salad, preparing it. She added chicken, and I told her that I don't eat meat, so she asked if I eat chicken. I got to make my own salad at the end with so many amazing ingredients, and avocado and kiwi and pear and tomato and cheese and spinach and salad and rocket and salad sauce. And then they had self-made pizza bread together with it and lemon water. We had a nice dinner, Her husband had also returned from a dog walk with their really beautiful dog Sissy. She was a bit afraid of me, maybe because I smell like the cat from the last host. And I gave her some snacks though, and at the end she was allowing me to stroke her, and she wagged her tail a lot. A really beautiful dog, and her husband was also very kind, and we spoke English and Danish and German, all mixed, all understood everything a little bit, or quite well actually. They spoke quite well German and English. We're both teachers, and we had a long conversation now afterwards about wild animals here, about Easter traditions, about different things, families, education, a vacation, showing each other photos. It was really nice. Now I'm gonna go to sleep. Bye. May you know in your bones that this earth is your home. May you feel in your soul you are worthy and whole. I'm also observing how I'm manifesting on this journey what I want. And last evening I had this thought, it would be so nice if I could find a place where I could really practice to receive the generosity of people, to receive without giving back, to relax in that. And this is what I found. And last evening when I was hiking and knocking on so many people's doors, I was getting a little bit in the survival mode, a bit stressed about, am I actually gonna find a warm place to sleep tonight? And that didn't help. And then I took a moment when I noticed that, where I decided I would take a break. And I didn't even sit down literally. I would maybe have done that after these few houses. But I took a deep breath, and that helped me to relax, to be open enough to receive at the end. This was the golden door to manifest what I wanted. And it's also this, it would be nice. It would be nice if this and that happens, and somehow having it a bit more specific, like a feeling. Not I want to have that, but like just this intention to put out so the universe can answer in the way it wants to. And it was really amazing with these people tonight. And at the same time, I get a bit bored by the linearity and how ordinary it was. They were, retired, having this life as teachers. This house I slept in, by the way, it was a school many years ago. And they liked to sail, they had the dog, everything seemed so perfect. And I really want to find what is hard, what is extraordinary, what is a challenge for the people here. And it would be really amazing to ask more dangerous questions. And I noticed that I want to be at the edge, and yet when I am at the edge I want to get away as quickly as possible, and I'm very good at that. It would be really nice if I could meet some younger people and fill their house with joy when I come and talk about this initiation that I'm doing really and what it gives me. Also about possibility management and my next project, this regenerative village, where I could really inspire people about that. This chair is especially built for backpackers hiking in this area and needing a pee break. Put water in. I feel sad that I didn't ask the people where I slept if I could take videos of them, having them speak in the camera, filming their dog and houses. This is another edge of my comfort zone to discover, to be dangerous with filming. There are little rabbits on the other side of the river. Today's breakfast is pear and kiwi. The cool thing is that I never really know who I am the next day when I wake up, the next step. Because I'm moving through different landscapes, lands that shape the people in a certain way, and I'm meeting different people that shape the way I interact with them and shape the way I see and feel myself. And then I'm moving through gates to different contexts, different regions. Everything is changing all the time. By doing this hike, by making this video, I am noticing that I have so many interesting things I want to tell about. I have such a huge pile to share about, and I'm always making myself small. All my life is a ceremony. Come, come, we come again, and we go, go, we go again. And we die, die, we die again. Just to be born, born, reborn again. And we go, go, we go again. Closer. Which speed are you willing to go in these times of global change? There was just someone waving me while going past. Still learning, I'm still learning. All my life is a ceremony. This dad's tribe in the middle of the field is really condensed. It's nice to walk on, but I don't think it's nice for the worms inside. That looks much better. I just dared to ask what all these Danish flags mean. to the people here, and there was a really nice woman with her dog in the garden answering my question, and she said they put them up for celebrations or birthdays, and when someone dies they take it halfway down, so I'll watch out for them now. This is so cool. I feel so much joy that I dared to ask, and because I got such a surprising answer. So alive. I love this old manhole cover with a horse on it and already saying Odense. I just met a really nice black poodle and his owner when I was asking for Wi-Fi to send a message about when I'm arriving. Another nice conversation with a woman who opened the door when I wanted Wi-Fi. She's a doctor. She filled up my water bottle. Her Wi-Fi didn't work just now, even though she was in the home office. But so she was relaxing a bit in the sunshine. What a beautiful way again! Leftover lunch, some rice, chickpeas, salad and garlic from our garden in Halle. Don't forget to lick your bowl after you eat. Forget to rinse it hot to clean it deep. And then shake to make a garlic tea. Bright and clean again. I really enjoyed sitting on this bench there, watching all the people coming by, so different people, and talking to them each in a different way, with a man with a hunting dog. Hi. Yeah. Hi. If I want people to be interested in me and what I'm doing, how can I be interested in them first and ask them what excites them, what they are passionate about, what they are struggling with? Two people there just stopped. Her name was Kirsten, and she gave me the contact to her sister living in Odense and making a bed and breakfast, so I could have a place to sleep there. It's very funny. They were really interested. I was just journaling and I noticed one of my underworld's purposes for doing this journey is to hide behind something bigger, behind a story, behind something extraordinary. Not to have to be seen myself, but to put something bigger in front of me. So I'm doing it because I'm scared to meet people, to be in this space of encountering, of not knowing how it goes. And there is this well-known underworld meme of not being good enough. And with this story, I'm bigger, I'm more interesting, more important. Maybe I'm even superior because I'm traveling in a better way. So funny to stand at the highway and wave people. Some are waving back. At Rike, a really nice young person, and for the first time I told the story about me doing this initiation, and I gave her my number and some contact ideas that we're doing this Regenera project and that she might be welcome to visit or message me. So she doesn't live here, just her parents, and she didn't know a place to sleep. She was really thinking about opportunities and mentioning a monastery which I have just passed. Feel really scared right now because I'm nearly in the city, like 3 kilometers from the city center, or even 2 only now, and people are recommending me to go into hotels. I just asked a woman if she would have space in her house, but she didn't, and yeah, people seem to understand it less than in the villages. And I noticed I made myself small again when I asked her, begging that it might be cold and that I need something, instead of really being here and raising my anger and saying what I want. I turned around because it got too much into town for me, and people were just recommending me hostels or hotels or B&Bs. I didn't really know where to go, but I saw an agricultural school on the map a bit further out of the town, and I decided to walk this direction. And then I just randomly chose streets that looked inviting and chose houses with gardens that looked inviting. I got more into this joy again, and into the joy of asking for a place where I could sleep. An older lady opened the door, and again she was immediately willing to host me. They have a whole museum here. Her husband has Parkinson, and he was brooming the greenhouse. When I came, I helped him, and both of them spoke some German and English and helped me with some Danish words as well. The woman to clean up the greenhouse a bit, to put some heavy pots, flower pots outside, so she could do the spring clean there. And I got some tea and cookies while nice conversations. She wanted to make buckwheat but didn't have enough, so she went to the shop to buy more while I was talking to her husband. And it was so nice because he was speaking so slowly and I was holding space for him, really just listening. And by slowing down, it was so much more meaningful and magical. Talking about all his memories, talking about war, talking about cruelty to indigenous people in America, talking about travels. I was able to ask more questions to him that really interested me in this space, in this pace. And they have a whole museum here. It's incredible. He's a collector of things. So we had dinner together. We washed the dishes together. And then we watched Asterix and Obelix in the TV, so I could improve my Danish with it, or at least get some Danish in my ears. And now I'm gonna sleep here in this music room on a mattress. So I'm leaving off again. I stayed with Anne-Maria and Mons for this night. I already showed you their house inside. I helped a bit this morning again to clean out the greenhouse, so Anne-Maria is washing it now, washing the glass, so it's fit for the spring. And I had breakfast with them. We had dark bread with Danish soft cheese and white bread with orange Norwegian cheese that tasted like cashew cream, and Swedish jam from cloudberries, and passion fruit juice and cranberry juice and English tea. So fun to try out new things. And yeah, really good conversations all along. I'm walking along the Odense Zoo again. And I find it fascinating that I keep having this feeling of where it fits. And sometimes when I'm more in a survival mode, more stressed, then I'm just knocking on random people's doors. But if I'm in this relaxed presence, then it's easier to do it by intuition, to follow my intuition, to follow my heart, to do what feels coherent and what actually works. I was just looking in the depth of my backpack for these beans. Now I found them and want to show you everything that I took with me. A well-squeezable hat against sunlight, some paper and a guide for wild edible plants, my sleeping bag, comfort temperature 3 degrees, so not too cold, so you still need to find a place to sleep when it's getting really cold and meet people. A necessaire with some emergency things, a bag of warm clothes and tiny towels, and these are socks for house shoe replacement. So at this time of the year I had 3 woolen jumpers, one that I usually wore for sleeping and one really warm and one in between, and in cold nights I wore all 3 of them. And I can really recommend merino t-shirts because they don't get so sweaty, and I just needed 2 for this journey. Pockets I also have rain trousers and sock shoes down there, which I never used but had as emergency shoe with me, or house shoe. A cotton sleeping bag inlet, my bead book, a bag of things, pens, sewing kit, whatever, and a bag of food, cutlery, a sourdough starter, everything you need. A little bottle of olive oil, a lunchbox, a thermos bottle and an isolated bottle, so I can ask for hot water and put it into the red one as a hot water bottle replacement in emergencies. In the bottom of my backpack is my sleeping mat with an R value above 5 and a tarp or a wind protection or picnic blanket, a hat, gloves and pulse warmers, a torch, charger and power bank, and a really cool invention to put toothbrush, toothpaste, everything I need in this little towel bag, so that I can take that to what I need every morning and evening. This belly bag is amazingly recommended for wearing the phone and not having to take the backpack down, and also putting some gloves or stuff in there. Some light waterproof shoes that are comfy to walk in, and some warm woolly underwear and outdoor trousers, rain jacket because it's raining right now, and whatever else I'm wearing, a rain jacket and rain protection for the backpack. This is the most important piece on this hike. And food-wise, I took nearly a whole homemade bread with me and left half of it with my first host. I took an apple from our garden for every day. And now I got this couscous, which is also really easy to make with hot or cold water, just soaking it, as well as oats with nuts and seeds for porridge. And I forgot to bring salt. That would have been nice in this. Yeah. Something to put on the bread is nice, and I used this jar to put the peanut butter from Osa in. And also some emergency chocolate. And one learning from just now, don't put too much couscous in, it's gonna get a lot. Wow, life is so amazing. I just got lost and my phone didn't have any more battery to navigate me. And in exactly that moment, Nomi came by and asked me if I needed something, and so she showed me the way and also invited me to charge my phone in her home, which was a beautiful little allotment garden house, and we had really great conversations. I told her about our project, and she told me about her son, and that many kids here are getting homeschooled. And I told her about the resource circle that I might do, and then she asked if I'm also doing one-on-one spaces. And so I said yes, I'm doing emotional healing processes, and she was immediately open to try it out. And so I said yes, okay. And it was really nice to hold space for her. And in general, so heartwarming to meet her, to have a cup of tea with her, to have conversations and see that there are people in this region that are already thinking in these directions of creating community, of living nomadically, of raising children differently. So I feel so much joy right now and ready for the next and last steps on this way. Awesome, awesome! I have arrived! This documentary reflects my current state of awareness. I filmed what I saw, I spoke what I thought, and it is one lens, one possible facet of reality. It serves me now to see my ex on the map more clearly. It reflects my current worldview, my stories, my beliefs, and my shadows. It shows what I care about and know about, my feelings about how the world is, as well as my blind spots. It shows what I dare, where I hide, and what challenges me. It is a snapshot in time, in the constant change and evolution. It serves me as a reality check. Where am I now? And where is the world? So I can make my next steps with more foundation, more grounded, aware and reflected. This was a journey of transformation, without even knowing all the effects it had on me, how it changed me. I'm discovering myself new every moment, every day. Very, very big thank you to everybody who supported me to do this journey. to everybody I met on the way, and to all the kind and friendly people who opened their doors for me.